Hi foodies, this is your girl Nick. Day 4 of my poverty eating challenge, Nick's Hunger Games, whatever you want to call it. Me eating off of $1.50 a day of food for 5 days. Day 4! Yay! I'm insanely happy that this is over tomorrow. Today was an interesting day because I had my usual breakfast and lunch. You guys already know the drill with the breakfast and lunch, the lentils and the eggs and all that good stuff. But I had my breakfast and lunch, but I remembered after I came to work that I was supposed to start getting together with a friend of mine on Thursday nights to learn to sew. I hadn't packed anything for dinner, and my friend lived closer to my job, which is a good ways away now from my home. So I was a little conflicted on what to do. Maybe what I did was cheating. I'm not sure. But what I did was I had a cup of coffee. Okay, I'm fessing up. I had a cup of coffee at 5 o'clock at my job. There it is. Judge me. And it's interesting because coffee is one of those things. I gave up coffee this week because of the fact that caffeinated coffee doesn't add to your hydration, and it is something you would ordinarily pay a good amount of money for. Excuse me. It's interesting to me how much of a appetite suppressant coffee can be, because I was pretty good to go. I mean, I knew it was appetite suppressant before, but I was pretty good to go for a couple of hours after that coffee. So I went to my friend's house, and they had just eaten. The place smelled like bacon and eggs, and whew, that was a little difficult. We didn't actually end up getting to sew because I took my grandma's old sewing machine just to see if it still worked. It's missing a part, so I think I'm going to have to take it to the shop because it is a good sturdy sewing machine and otherwise works except for this one part. So anyway, left my friend's house and came home and fixed myself dinner. Did not stop anywhere to get food. Did not, do, any mindless munching or anything like that. So that brings me to sort of the point of today's video. Some of the weight loss surgery insights I've gotten from doing this challenge. One is that I should practice what I preach more. And one of the things that I preach a lot is that hunger is not an emergency. Even in cases where it has been way too long and you haven't eaten, if a healthy solution is not that far away, you can get to it. You will survive until you get to it. Because a lot of times what we do is we justify bad eating with, oh, I hadn't eaten in X amount of time and I was going to really be in trouble if I didn't get something in my body soon. While we should aim to eat every few hours to keep our blood sugar stable, our metabolism going, if it's a choice between going to get a McDouble from McDonald's or waiting 10 more minutes to get home and make yourself a healthy meal, you can survive the 10 minutes to make yourself a healthy meal. That's number one thing that I realized. Number two is that head hunger can really, really, really be powerful. I have succumbed to it many, many times, and I probably was in the habit of succumbing to it. I'm a pretty routine eater, but, there would be times in between meals, and, my head was hungry, my body really wasn't. I know this because through this poverty eating challenge, I mean, I've probably eaten, what did I say, no more than 600 calories a day for the last few days. But interestingly enough, even with the beans and the lentils, my blood sugar has not dropped, and beans and lentils are carbs. They have fiber, so it's less likely to drop. But even when I eat fibery carbs and, I go bonkers with them, sometimes I get a blood sugar drop. And then eating the amount that I have eaten, my system has not felt this good in a long time. So that tells me that I was probably trying to put too much food in my system. And I was feeling weighed down and sluggish and just uncomfortable about it. This surgery does still work. I do still have a pouch. I do still have a stoma, and they all work. So that's my second insight, is that head hunger can be powerful. Be on the defensive for it. The third thing is, it's interesting that when you go from being a newbie to sort of midterm to sort of veteran post-op, is that there's a shift in mindset. I mean, for the first couple of months, you really can't eat a lot, of course. And so you're telling yourself, I need to get more calories. I need to get more protein. I need this. I need that, especially as you're starting to work out and fueling your workouts. Well, at 4 years out, I probably don't need to push myself to get enough calories. There are some of us who keep that restriction that long, and that, that's a different story. But for me, I have no need to push myself to a certain amount of calories. I should probably just eat the amount of calories that my stomach is satisfied with and leave it at that. Because when I do that, I'm in a reasonable calorie range. So those are 3 big things that I learned from doing this challenge so far. So far as personal perspective, personal/global poverty perspective, interesting. Eating is such a communal thing. And we remark about it all the time. Oh, all the holidays have to do with food, and everybody always gathers around food. That's natural and normal, even though people can gather for reasons other than food. The one thing that's always bugged me in the weight loss surgery world is that people act like it's wrong to gather around food, or that it's wrong to have food tradition. It's not wrong to have food tradition. It is wrong to exploit or overuse the food in those food traditions, but there's nothing wrong with Thanksgiving. There's nothing wrong with having a Christmas dinner. There's nothing wrong with having a birthday dinner as a part of a general overall family celebration. I think we're Americans have taken that too far, as that all we do is eat. You need to learn to start doing other things. Go outside, play some volleyball, badminton, or something. Good gravy. But it's very isolating when you can't eat what everybody else can eat. I knew that as an early post-op, and then in this challenge it reminded me of that. And sometimes, we eat things that we shouldn't, just so we feel like we're a part of the group, just so we feel like we fit in. And it can be pretty demoralizing, because on the one hand you think that you are doing the right thing to blend into the group, but on the other hand you're doing yourself a disservice. So far as global poverty is concerned, I imagine it can be pretty isolating to live in poverty and not have enough to eat, and trying to see enough for your own family, and having other families that live near you and you don't have enough to help them and they don't have enough to help you, so you're staying to yourself, and everybody's hoarding their food. So one thing that I really learned is that hunger sort of separates us from other people. I don't believe, I'm a Christian. I hope I don't offend any non-Christians out there reading my blog, but or even if I do, these are my beliefs. I believe that hunger separates us in a way. It separates us from what God intends us to do. And to me, in my belief system, what God intends for us is to live in community. And there's nothing wrong with having communal gatherings around food. But when the distribution of food, or when the availability of food is not fair, it sort of separates us. It gives us notions of entitlement, notions of, I worked harder than he did, so I should have this and they should have that. Nobody should go hungry. Least of which me. Which brings me to my last point, which is I am insanely happy that tomorrow is the last day of this challenge. Please believe that at midnight I'm going to make something. Probably a protein shake. But still, I'm going to make something. It's going to be 100+ degrees tomorrow, so maybe I'll just make myself a lemonade. But I'm going to make something that is nourishing to my body, because my body's been screaming for nourishment that isn't lentils, chickpeas, or eggs. So anyway, those are my day 4 insights. Sorry to run the video long again, but I had a lot of stuff to say. So until tomorrow, when I will do my final report on the Hunger Games. The last thing I learned from all of this is that it's really fun talking to you guys from video. I'm going to start doing it more often. So anyway, until I give my final report tomorrow, I hope you guys are having a wonderful time living your lives. And remember to play with your food.